Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. We're installing Pinry for development. If you'll notice, there are two options for the installation of Pinry. The first one right here, which is the Docker version, and that would give you a Pinry instance up and running using Docker, as it says right there, nice and quick and easy. The second version is if you want to be able to do more development on it, and that's the one we're going to focus on today. So let's click on over to that second version, and they've done a great job with their README and all of the instructions and the way they've set everything up. So it really is quite simple to get this up and running. The first thing to keep in mind are the requirements. Absolutely critical are Python, pip, virtual env, the build tools, and make sure that you have Python imaging also installed. And that's pretty. Once you have those requirements taken care of, we're going to go ahead and grab the clone URL, and let's go ahead and git clone that URL, and let's spell clone right. Done. That was pretty quick. We move on now. We need to move into the directory, the Pinry directory. At this point we have two options. One of them is to use the setup.py file, but I'm going to go with the test as it's described right here. First we're going to set up a virtual env. Now that's done. Next thing, we're going to install the requirements. This might take a couple of minutes. Okay, that's done. Now we're going to actually run a test. With the manage.py test command. Let's spell test correctly. And being a well-built program, obviously it has a significant number of tests, and that's great for development because you make sure everything's running well as you develop. Continually testing, of course. Great. Passed all the tests except for the one that was expected not to. That's all good. The next thing we need to do is make sure our database is built and synced. And obviously the way we normally do that in the Django environment is with the manage.py sync db command. It's going to ask us if we want to create a super user, and we're going to say yes. I'm going to leave it blank. Obviously you could change that. Put in my email. Password. Great. Now you'll notice that there were three items not synced at the bottom, and we need those to be synced. So probably we should have started with migrate to begin with. Migrate is of course a function of south, which is one of the dependencies that was already installed. So instead of using the sync db from manage.py, instead we're going to use migrate. And now it looks like we're ready to run the server. So let's go ahead and do that using the manage.py command, run server. It looks like everything's working well. Let's give it a shot. It's being run at 127.0.0.1 8000, and we're up and running. We have a fully functioning development mode Pinry instance ready to rock and roll. Okay, give it a shot. Hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something.